Topping today's news, a group of Bahamians protest outside the House of Assembly over illegal migration problems. Hundreds of migrants repatriated, the U.S. government donating over $1 million in new vehicles to help fight crime, and a new nurses bill will greatly help the healthcare system. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Scores of Bahamians lined Parliament Street today chanting, "Brave, got to go," protesting the illegal migrant situation here in the Bahamas. The group, led by Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain, gathering in a peaceful protest for what they are calling a 60-year-old illegal immigration issue.
We are seriously concerned that as of late, for many, many months, we are not seeing the apprehension of these illegal boats by the defense force. How is it all of a sudden the defense force can't catch these boats? And they are only getting caught by the Coast Guard after they have already gone through our country? How is that possible? How is it that the Turks and Caicos forces are catching these boats, but our forces have stopped catching them? How is this possible? We are also concerned with the latest statements by the Minister for Immigration. We want him to know first and foremost, Keith Bell, we do not trust you. That's right. We do not trust any government or anyone who has been in government up to this time. That is not a political statement. That is a statement on your public record. You have all failed us.
Mr. Bain says the immigration situation in country plays a direct role in the increase of illegal drugs and weapons that are on our streets and in our schools.
The problem is not just illegal immigration, because the same network that facilitates illegal immigration facilitates the proliferation of crime. It facilitates the proliferation of guns and drugs into our society. It is facilitating the proliferation of Haitian gangs in our country. We have reached a point where heavy machinery in terms of weapons, heavy weapons have now gone into our schools. A 15-year-old has taken a machine gun into the schools. When will enough be enough? When will the government realize that we have to close the door? There's a criminal ring making major money in this country because the government is sitting down and allowing it to happen. They are using the humanitarian situation as an excuse and a cover for crime.
Mr. Bain asserts that this protest is not for political gain and calls on Bahamians at large to fight for the future of the country.
Bahamians, we have to take this seriously before it's too late. This is our last opportunity to get this done, and we are calling on all Bahamians to stand with us. Yes, I happen to be a leader of a political party. I am not here as the leader of a political party today. I am here as a Bahamian. And all I'm asking you to do is take this seriously. Someone said, we want to do this for political advantage. No, we're not concerned about political advantage. We're concerned with the state of our nation. And that is it, and that is all. And so we're calling on the government to do something.
Last week, Minister of Immigration and Labor Keith Bell acknowledged the increased social unrest in Haiti is driving more migrants to the Bahamas. He announced that with immediate effect, existing and new permit to reside applications for Haitian citizens will only be considered on a case-by-case basis, and approvals will only be granted in the most exceptional circumstances. He also announced that no new work permit applications for Haitian citizens will be processed until such time as the revised protocols are produced to verify and authenticate documents issued by the Haitian government and Haitian National Police. Well, while Bahamians activists were protesting along Parliament Street, Immigration and Labor Minister Keith Bell was in the halls of Parliament calling for Bahamians to let sanity prevail. The minister making that plea as he gave an update on the processing and repatriation of economic migrants and irregular entrants into the Bahamas.
Whilst many continue to talk without sound action, and some protest without sound action, the public can rest assured that this Davis-led administration is working. working diligently, efficiently, and consistently to implement viable policies and protocols to address these immigration challenges. Ours is an open government. We are always open to listen. I would ask everyone to ensure that whilst we face these challenges, let sanity prevail. Xenophobia has no place in the Bahamas, nor does the arbitrary harassment of any person on the basis of any perception as to their nationality. To those doing it, stop.
With protesters asserting that the challenge with illegal migrants is a 60-year-old issue, Minister Bell says his ministry's work to address the pressing issue began on the day that he assumed the role of immigration minister. He provided an update on actions taken by the Department of Immigration since his warning that all undocumented migrants should wind up their affairs and leave the country voluntarily or face arrest and deportation and placed on a restricted list.
On the 19th of January, the Immigration Enforcement Unit conducted operations to infiltrate a number of dancing clubs. In one operation, Madam Speaker, 4 Jamaican females calling themselves the Mango Season Girls was taken into custody. They were charged and placed before the court, convicted, sentenced, deported, and placed on the restricted list. On the 20th of January, Madam Speaker, a joint operation by immigration and the police in the eastern area resulted in the apprehension of a number of irregular migrants, one of whom was found in possession of a fraudulent work permit. On the 30th of January 2023, immigration officials received notification of a suspected smuggling vessel sinking in the area of Grand Bahama. 4 Bahamian males suspected of being the organizers were arrested and are expected to be placed before the courts along with this group once the investigations are completed.
Minister Bell revealed that along with 251 migrants repatriated to Haiti and Cuba on Tuesday, some 245 migrants were being flown to their home country today. The minister says the government has unwavering commitment to protecting the country's borders and enforce the lawful process for entry into the Bahamas as Bahamian people are demanding. On Tuesday, January 31st, 3 repatriation exercises were successfully executed by the Immigration Department, totaling 251 people being returned to their home country. In the first exercise, at approximately 9:30 a.m., a Bahamas Air charter flight departed New Providence for Port-au-Prince, Haiti, with 83 Haitian nationals on board, 59 males, 12 females, and 12 minors. Additionally, a second Bahamas Air charter flight departed Matthewtown, Inagua, for Port-au-Prince at 1:32 p.m. with 130 Haitian nationals, 26 males, 77 females, and 20 minors. A third flight departed New Providence for Havana, Cuba, at approximately 4:16 p.m. That Bahamas Air flight had 38 Cuban nationals on board, 31 males and 7 females. The department's deportation and enforcement units led escorts, and all security and health protocols were observed as the safety and welfare of officers, law enforcement and counterparts and migrants remain the highest priority. In an effort to beef up saturation patrols and in the suppression of crime, the Royal Bahamas Police Force is now in possession of 20 new Ford Police Interceptor vehicles valuing over $1.4 million, courtesy of the United States government. We hear more in this next report. An official handing over ceremony for new vehicles donated by the U.S. government took place Tuesday at police headquarters. The keynote speaker, Prime Minister Philip Davis, while thanking the U.S. government for their partnership, says preventing crime is high on his administration's agenda, and the new vehicles play a vital role in getting crime under control.
These cars are an important addition to our policing effort in the fight against crime. First and foremost, they are badly needed in order to add capacity. With these new vehicles, we'll be able to mount additional saturation patrol operations in high crime areas.
The 20 hybrid vehicles are added to 32 vehicles previously donated by the U.S. government. Also included in the new fleet of vehicles were 2 fire trucks purchased by the Bahamian government. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda expressed gratitude for the new vehicles, which will be put into use immediately.
We are continuing to reap the benefits of this partnership. Notably, we have taken more legal firearms and ammunition off our streets in 2022. We have also seized more illegal drugs, including marijuana and marijuana plants, than in various years. Suffice to say, we are efficiently utilize all 32 vehicles privilegedly donated by the U.S. government in our crime-fighting efforts. And these vehicles have no doubt impacted our ability to strategize.
In recent years, the U.S. government, through U.S. Embassy Nassau, has delivered more than $25 million in assets to assist the Bahamas with efforts to fight crime. U.S. Charge d'Affaires Usha Pitts shared the inspiration behind this donation.
These are 20 vehicles on top of 32 that we previously donated. And they were donated in response to Hurricane Dorian, which really wiped out the basic infrastructure on the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama. And it was our hope that these vehicles would help provide some of that basic citizen security to people living on those hurricane-ravaged islands.
The two new fire trucks imported from South Dakota were custom designed by the Royal Bahamas Police Force for its specific needs. One of those fire trucks earmarked for Exuma. A video circulating social media showing a young boy using profanity at an adult in one of the government state homes was recorded back in 2021. Minister of Social Services and Urban Development Obi Wilchcombe addressing that video that caused a stir and concerns regarding the child's behavior.
In response to a considerable number of phone calls I received, reference to a video that went viral yesterday on social media that featured a 8-year-old boy in rage and anger and use of foul language. For the information of this House, that video was purposely recorded in May of 2021 and was done for a particular reason, Madam Speaker, which remains confidential. The boy, now 10 years old, is in the care of the state.
Minister Wilchcombe says the boy is receiving the due care and attention from the Ministry of Social Services and the Ministry of Health and Wellness that is required, adding that his ministry is investigating how and why the video was released. Today, when members of Parliament returned to the House of Assembly, the focus was on the healthcare system, nurses and midwives in particular. The Minister of Health and Wellness said the government would not be able to complete its mandate in the healthcare system without the nurses and the midwives. In this next report, we hear how legislature is expected to enhance the nursing profession in the Bahamas. When members returned to the House of Assembly today, they debated the Nurses and Midwives Bill 2020 that seeks to repeal and replace the current Nurses and Midwives Act of 1971. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Dovell, explains what the new bill is expected to accomplish in the healthcare system.
In a nutshell, this progressive piece of legislation seeks to expand the practice of nursing and midwifery, continue the work of the Nursing Council of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Registrar, the Nursing Tribunal, provide the training, regulation, registration, enrollment, licensing necessary for continued professional development of nurses and midwives.
It is no secret that nurses in the Bahamas, through their various unions, have been in a constant struggle with consecutive government administrations for better pay, working conditions, and benefits. With the introduction of this new legislation, Dr. Dovell said it is a new day for nurses. He says recent events have proven that nurses are invaluable and their working conditions must reflect that.
The shocking events of 2019 and 2020 have highlighted the reality of the roles and skills and capabilities of nurses and midwives, particularly during time of emergency and disaster. Since 1971, the diverse proficiencies possessed by competent nurses validate the need to give credit where credit is due and have this legislation reflect those changes. And so as we pick up this piece of legislation, for those who still express interest, this is a very in-depth piece of legislation that will transform the way nursing is practiced throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and to ensure that proficiency as well as ability is always at the highest standard in the healthcare professions.
Dr. Dovell says the bill will benefit current nurses, future nurses, and former nurses.
Madam Speaker, this bill is for the advancement This bill is for the advance fund of almost 1,700 nurses, 200 midwives across the public and private healthcare sectors that today are working in our clinics, our hospitals, throughout our communities, and throughout the Bahamas. This bill is also for nurses and midwives who came before and served in our communities. Many of them providing care and practice was notable, and they were ahead of their time. Similar to the Mental Health Bill 2022, this Nurse and Midwives Bill 2022 has added terms, expanded clauses, and reasonings that are aimed at advancing, more adequately supporting 21st century nursing and midwife practice in the Bahamas.
According to Dr. Dowell, the nursing community, which he describes as the backbone of the healthcare system, they're eagerly awaiting the passage of this bill. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.